It's my senior season. We start the year off ranked number 14 in the country, and anything short of a national championship is a complete failure in my book. All throughout spring and summer practice, the talk has been how can we reach our full potential and get to that point we know we're supposed to be. And with us starting the season ranked within the top 15, we should have no problem making it into the college football playoff. But getting things started against a very talented Ole Miss team won't be no easy task, but a forced fumble here in their territory definitely make things a lot easier. They go with the weird triple option on 3rd and 2, trying to pick up the first, but they won't get it. I'm all over it, smashing this running back. And then they make the crucial mistake going for it on 4th down, and they don't run the ball, putting it in the air. And of course, pick number 1 of the season, I'm getting it done on the ground and when they put the ball in the air. I'm everywhere. My role last season was to be the most complete athlete to ever play sports, doing everything on the field that I possibly could. Offense, defense, quarterback, running back, receiver. There was nothing on the field that I didn't do. And even though this is my senior season, nothing's really changed. I'm still going to be all over the place doing a little bit of everything, but I'm definitely going to be slowing down just a little bit. But with my team being so talented, I'm not going to be all over the place all the time for no reason. It's going to be more when they need me in certain places at that time. That pick my quarterback through in the end zone set us up bad. Then you throw in the fact that Jackson Dart just took off of probably the nastiest run in week 1 of college football, taking it to the end zone. But now that we're in the red zone, my quarterback has a chance to make up for his mistake. And who else hands is he going to put the ball in other than mine? Last play of the game, we only rushed 4. Everybody else is dropped back in coverage. And somehow one of the best players in this secondary still gets beat deep. And then on top of that, he misses the tackle, allowing them to score. We lose on a last second miracle play from Ole Miss. Before the season, all the talk has been about national championship hopes, and then we start the season off taking a loss like that in the 4th quarter is crazy. Our chances aren't completely out the window, but that one blemish is going to make it a lot harder. And taking a look at our schedule, we might have 1 or 2 cracks at another ranked team down the road, but that's even a long shot. We were really banking on being perfect this season, going undefeated. Just like last year, one loss can keep you exactly away from where you want to be. But we can't dwell on it, got to take it on the chin, lock in from here on out. And if I got to put the guys on my back, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you better believe I'm taking all my frustration out every tackle opportunity I get. Quarterback's going to take off up the middle, getting blasted. And then we get right back on the offensive end, jump ball, breaking the tackle, breaking another, going off into the end zone for a touchdown for the blowout. We're going absolutely crazy. This is how you respond the very next week after a loss, blowing this team out of the water at their own home field. And at this point, with a 45-point lead in the 4th quarter, there's no reason why we should still be on the field, but we just got to make our presence felt, put our stamp on it. And how could I forget that I'm a full-blown return specialist? Haven't done much as a returner, but when I get active, I get active. Red zone action, anytime a corner sagging off like this, I'm going to sell them inside, get back out. Quarterback's going to put this one on the money. Touchdown. They run the speed option here on 2nd down. You better believe me and my dogs hot on their trail. I was expecting the screen pass, but the running back popped straight up out the backfield. I'm kind of pissed off they picked up the 1st down. My first instinct was to fly in the backfield and get the sack, but I'm glad I didn't. Launch on this one straight in the coverage. My boy Clark picks up the easiest interception of his life. He didn't have to do much work for that one. Taking the snap at quarterback here on 1st down, and even though I have a clean pocket, there's nothing to open up field, so I have to take off. And I have nothing but space and opportunity to make a play, and I'm always going to take advantage of it. 2nd and long, running this slant. And even though this safety is sitting right here, I call for it in traffic anyway, but I stand tall, take the hit, and hold on to the ball. Coming in motion from the wide side of the field to the slot. When it comes to these corner routes, I'm absolutely deadly. Nobody's even around to get a hand on me. Touchdown. One thing I've been trying to get better at, especially as a strong safety, when I have these middle of the field zones, is trying to jump these routes underneath. He makes this catch, I do get the tackle, but this could have very well been a pick. I can do it from the slot, split wide, trips formation, bunch, whatever you want. That corner route is going to be dog food every single time. I'm going to eat it up, picking up another touchdown, 21-0 by the end of the 3rd quarter. Getting straight to it against Colorado State, an absolute bomb over the top from my quarterback. And if you ain't squared up right in front of me, and even then you probably won't make the tackle, but I'm a big body Benz coming through picking up a tutty. Just off the formation, I know this is a screen off the rip, and I still overplayed, securing the tackle, but this could have been a pick 6, and it definitely should have been. With me being a two-way superstar my 3 years in college, it's going to be somewhat confusing to figure out how I'm going to get drafted, by who, and what position. I can get drafted at 3 different offensive positions and as a DB, and if I had to choose myself, honestly, I don't know which one I'd pick, but I think it's pretty obvious that I'm golden at receiver. 6'4", nearly 250 with 4.2 speed. I would absolutely go crazy and be something that the league hasn't seen in a very long time, hardly ever. I mean, there's guys in the past and present like a DK Metcalf with size and speed, but nothing like me. I'm a completely different breed when it comes down to this. But today, offensively, we hasn't been as productive as we should, and Colorado State's making this a game. And now I'm in at quarterback, trying to make a huge play, put some more points on the board so we can put this game out of reach. I'm getting over into open space, but taking a huge hit landing on my neck. And with Colorado State burning all of their timeouts, we could just kick a field goal or just kneel this one out, but instead I want to put one on the board, delivering an absolute dime to the end zone for the touchdown. This right here is one of, if not our our only opportunity to show that we can compete against the top ranked team. Number 11 ranked BYU, we have to seize this opportunity. I can't remember a single jet sweep from last season that we ran that I was involved in successfully, but here on 1st and Goal works out to perfection. Now over here on defense, BYU is in this weird formation, but it's going to work. They're going to pick up big yardage to first down, and if I wasn't here, he probably would have wrote this one to the crib. But I can always count on my big boys up front. This quarterback had forever and a day to throw this ball, but instead everything is locked up and we get the strip sack. And with a big play like that before the second half, now it's all about cashing in on every opportunity we get, delivering a dime to my receiver on the outside, falling just short of the first. After getting it done on offense, back over here on D, and you better believe my guys are stepping up, making more plays. Linebackers, D linemen, secondary, you know what time it is. And my offense so far has capitalized on every opportunity we've afforded ourselves from the defensive side, now muscling my way in, picking up touchdown number 2 of the day. And taking a shot right here before the second half, the Hail Mary is always going to be the go-to, but of course, I'm in position, coming away with the second pick of the season, big time interception at that, 21-0 lead before going into the third quarter. And some man coverage on this drag route, got it down to a T, tracing him all the way across the field, and this should have been a pick, if not a pick six. I get caught up in traffic across the middle. But on my next opportunity to make a play on that ball, completely hawking my lane, snagging this ball out of the air, coming away with INT number 2, completely dominating BYU's offense. Fresno State then came into the crib, and anytime there's a rivalry game of any sort, we gotta show up and show out. One of those rare occasions where I actually have to blitz the quarterback, and it almost pays off. I don't know how he got this ball out of his hand, but it works out in our favor. 1-4 is in position for the pick, and he rides it back home for a touchdown. And since it worked out so well the first time around, we back at it, getting back here to the quarterback, this time successfully securing the sack. You haven't seen me get active as a punt or kick returner so far this season, but today we gonna get busy, navigate my way through traffic. All my guys are blocking terrific, getting upfield, putting us in great field positioning. I'm the single receiver split wide, and this ball is going to float right over this corner's head and right into my hands for the easy tub. After that multi-pick game, I'm feeling myself, trying to make plays on the ball every chance I get, but I slip up in coverage, giving up the deep ball, and they score a touchdown because of it. We could have very much ended this game with a shutout, but because they put their first points on the board because of me, you know I got to go and get one back. It seems like every time I guess the screen or peep the formation, something gets in my way of me making the play of the ball. This time it's this big offensive lineman knocking off my angle of the ball. I knew eventually they would take a shot, but to throw it in the double coverage with 2 of the best DBs in the country on the same side of the field is idiotic. But I don't come away with the pick, but that boy 1-4 gets another one. Winning this game is out of the question for Fresno State, but taking a shot, that they will do again to my side. This time around, I'm not in deep coverage, but Clark coming away with his second interception for the second week in a row. It's crazy to see the dip San Diego State has taken over the last few years. I mean, their 4-2 is not bad, but they were one of the top teams in the conference just a few years ago. Taking the snap from the gun, dog, the cleanest pocket you could ever want as a quarterback or as a player stepping in a quarterback like myself, but I end up throwing one of the most oblivious picks of my quarterback career. But throwing a little interception is not going to stop me from getting behind my center. Got my guy coming in motion, handing this one off as the jet sweep, but he throws it right back to me. Big time play, picking up the first down and some. Man, points have been hard to come by for both teams. We're in the third quarter and it's been a scoreless game. I don't think nobody expected this one to turn out like this. And in times like this, I feel like I'm spreading myself thin, getting active in every way possible, special teams, offense and defense. I'm tired most of the time on the sidelines, even though I play a lot of snaps. And even though I play a lot of downs, the times I do sit out, it almost seems to destroy the flow of the game offensively and defensively. When I do step back in, I try to make plays immediately to get us back on track. And after making a huge play on D, getting us the ball back, now over here on offense, making this catch in stride. And usually I would have burnt the defense and gotten to the end zone, but I'm so gassed I get tackled. And it's been a while since I've been active in the speed option as the quarterback, and of course no intentions on pitching that ball, end zone, touchdown. And for insurance purposes, knowing good and well offense has been struggling today, we go for 2 and we succeed. I pick it up myself. Wasn't expecting them to take a shot, especially to my side, throwing it right over the top, and I'm just out of position to make a play on this one. That's all my fault. And just like we thought, that 2-point conversion would come in handy. They have no choice but to go for their own, and we get to stop right on the 1-yard line and walk away with this dub. We're starting to see some progress in the rankings, now ranked number 17 in the country, far away from where we need to be. And progress is progress no matter how small it is. So I'm proud of the guys for staying on track and now sitting at 6-1, trying to improve our record with one more win against New Mexico this week. Split out wide here on third down, a scoreless first quarter, trying to make it happen here in the second, picking up a touchdown on a beautifully ran corner route. And as we try to take a stand here in the red zone, New Mexico's quarterback is going to deliver an absolute dime. We're actually down the score as we head into the fourth quarter, and I think this is the first first time in a minute we've actually been in a situation like this. They only rushed 3 and dropped everybody else back in coverage. I got forever to throw this ball. Finally see a guy slip up, delivering a dime. We tie this ball game up. And going for 2 in a situation like this doesn't seem like the smartest decision, but I promise you, there's some thought behind the madness. Potentially their last opportunity to go down and put some points on the board and win this game, and of course, we come through and get the stop on 4th down. If we didn't go for 2, we will be going to overtime. Nevada's going to kick this one off, trying to establish the run, and even though we all crash inside, we get back out to make sure he only picks up 4 yards on this one. And by the end of the first quarter, already in the red zone, I have nowhere to go. Everything is sewn up, but he finds one of my teammates for a big time touchdown. And one thing I have to say I love about our defense, if we mess up or we give up any kind of big yardage or first down, we swarm to the ball immediately. Because as a group, as an entire unit, we strive every single week in and week out to play a perfect game, even if it doesn't seem possible. Second down, flying all the way across the field, a secure tackle that should have been made on the 30-yard line, but I make this running back pay, causing a forced fumble. We were just a step away from picking it up. Now Nevada's in the red zone, threatening to punch this one in. They do exactly that. We get the inside run, they go outside. We need to pick up the pace offensively. Now taking this one back for a nice 30-yard return. That's going to set us up pretty decent. And wasting no time before we go into the second half, I'm over here on offense immediately, running up the field, and you know my hand is up calling for that ball. That's another 41 yards off my back. And just a few plays later, empty gun, taking this snap, running off to my right, picking up the touchdown with 2 seconds to spare. And now we're in the fourth quarter, and with it being a tie game, we need to produce more than ever. And who else do you want to call on besides numero uno, the best player on the field every single game? And on their last opportunity to try to put some points on the board here in the fourth quarter, we get to stop here on 4th and 15, walking away with the W. Just a few years ago, this Wyoming team gave us a run for our money. We ain't trying to repeat that in no way, shape, or form this year. We got to step up and ball out, especially being ranked number 11 in the country. Running the slant towards one of the best players in your secondary, then proceeding to stiff arm him into the dirt and picking up the tutty is absolutely disgusting behavior. And then your quarterback going with the play action, somehow escaping my D lineman, but then getting blown up for the 2-yard sack. I know they want to go with a pass, and I'm lurking my zone to the best of my ability, praying for the pick, but then the quarterback decides to try to take off, getting another sack, 2 in his drive. And at some point, I knew the opportunity would present itself, hawking my lane as usual, picking up my first interception in what feels like a while, trying to take this one back, but I pick up some decent yardage. Usually, I like to keep it outside, and they know that because they're sitting there safety right on top of the zone in the area where I usually catch a lot of my balls, so running these slants towards the middle has been key today. But now I'm going to catch them slipping, safety sitting hard down inside. You know I'm going to take advantage of this corner, winning at the line, getting upfield, making this catch, getting to the end zone. It's been a solid game from us as a team on both sides of the ball, but my defense playing lights out, just going crazy, and I'm loving it. And just when we thought the shutout wouldn't be possible with them being in the red zone, we back this one down on 4th and goal. Offense is going to nail it out. We walk out of here with a flawless victory. At this point, it seems like the entire conference besides us is piss poor and just flat out average. And the fact that we haven't been blowing these teams out of the water and completely dominating is worrisome. A 9-1 record is one thing, but how we play on the field is another. And I won't say I'm worried that we can't complete the season the way we want to, but getting to a national championship and being able to compete, that's a whole nother ball game. And I honestly think, especially going into these last few games, I need to pick one side of the ball to stick to more than the other. But the question is, do I stay on offense where we can produce points and just go back and forth with the team potentially, or do I stick on defense? And coming away with my second pick in 2 games is kind of swaying me towards the defensive side right here on 1st and 10. But taking the snap from the gun, rolling out to my left, and delivering an absolute dime on offense is kind of swaying me towards this side of the ball. And without a doubt, I believe I can continue to play both at an effective level, but we need more points on the board, especially if we want to compete with some of the better teams going into the playoffs. Because at some point in the postseason, we won't be playing against a Wyoming or Utah State or Fresno State. We're going to be playing against some heavy hitters. So I guess my goal, just like any other week, is to step up personally and put more points on the board and make more plays on defense, whether that's tackles, interceptions, touchdowns, whatever, you name it. But the first time in a very long time, we actually hang up nearly 30 points on the team, and it feels great to actually dominate on the field. This entire time I've been talking about playoffs, I wasn't taking into account that we needed a lot of big teams to kind of lose so we can make our way up, and that's what's kind of been transpiring over the last couple of weeks from number 11 to number 5. For a minute, I thought our window of opportunity was closing, but now with a lot of these big teams taking some L's, it's putting us in perfect position to take over. And it's kind of nerve-wracking with this being the final game of the regular season and with us being just one slot away from being in that top 4 playoff spot. But above all else, the main focus for this week is to win this game against Air Force. And before going into the second half, you know I got to put points on the board. Safety is nowhere to be found. This corner has no chance picking up a touchdown before we go into the second. Without a doubt, offensively, I know we can produce today, but now on defense, we got to step up because they can break off a big play at any time. They showed that off in the first quarter. And going with the I formation on 3rd and 2, I had no intentions on doing anything other than flying into that backfield making this tackle. And I've been giving it my all on both sides of the field throughout these first 3 quarters, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of gassed, but on this punt return, making a huge mistake, giving up the fumble, but my teammate teammate scoops it up and putting us in decent position. But at that point, it was mandatory I sit out for a few plays, and as soon as I step back on the field, I'm making highlight plays like this, completely mossing this cornerback. Scoring points offensively, now in this fourth quarter, we just need our defense to do what we've done all season, and that's flat out ball and dominate. But for me, closing this one out by making this catch on this post, eluding my way back to the outside, getting into the end zone, this game is done. All bowl games in the playoffs are set in stone. We faced Georgia in the Sugar Bowl for a shot at the national championship, everything we worked for. I won the Heisman as a freshman, missed a year, came back, won it again, but I fall just short of running it back to back. And out the gate, Georgia goes and immediately scores off rip, showing us this is not our normal Mountain West matchup. And I'm kicking things off for me offensively, taking a snap at quarterback, and with all this free real estate off to my left, I'm picking this up with my legs. You better believe that. And with the elite secondary and overall defense that Georgia has, you better believe they're keying in on me. They pick up a nice interception just when I thought I had an easy touchdown. And going down 2 scores before the half can be detrimental to our team's success. We got to do everything we can to keep them out of the end zone. But putting all my trust and faith in my defense, knowing we're going to step up and make plays, we get a sack on Carson Beck on 3rd and 2, a huge sack at that. This Georgia defense has been nothing less than exceptional. Offensively, we haven't been able to do anything, punt after punt after punt, not producing a single point throughout 3 quarters. And with my quarterback making mistake after mistake and just being completely blindsided by how talented this defense is, I got to step in and take over this role. And now with this being potentially our last opportunity to go down and put some points on the board, secure this lead, I'm giving it my all, doing everything I possibly can, taking what the defense gives us. We got to put some points up. And at some point, I knew they'd lock in on me completely because I've been taking off using my legs, being completely dynamic, and I caught them slipping in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, we're on the board. And with their last shot, going for it all with the Hail Mary, trying to put points on the board to at least tie this game up, we come away with the sack and we escape the Sugar Bowl. We head to a national championship. This is it. We made it. We're the number 2 team in the country facing an undefeated number 1 ranked USC team in a national championship. And even though I'm dialed in, focused on winning this game, I can't help but think about my entire career, how everything's kind of unfolded in the right way. I'm dominating my freshman season, winning the Heisman, to my sophomore year being completely voided due to false allegations and just faulty drug tests, to now being in the position that I hoped, prayed, and worked for just to get here and be able to play at the highest and the biggest stage of college football. There's nothing more special. And then to overall be a part of a Boise State program that is more than deserving of being back into the limelight after being out of it for so long. And then to come into the national championship game scoring 2 of the first touchdowns, not only for us, but for the entire game, putting 2 on the board before going into the second half. Let's get it. But I know for a fact, trying to contain Caleb Williams for an entirety of a football game won't be an easy task. But just like any and everything else throughout my football career, when I'm on this field, I can take on any responsibility, any task, and step up to the plate. And I go from catching 2 touchdowns on my quarterback to getting in at the QB position, scrambling around, delivering a touchdown dot of my own. Finally, I knew we wouldn't get the shutout against a talented team like this, but Caleb Williams walks this one in, picking up a touchdown, their first of the game. But to kill all hopes and sew this win up for me and the guys, delivering another dot to the back of the end zone to a wide open receiver, completely exposing the secondary. Even with the slight blemish of the false accusations and faulty tests throughout my sophomore season, I think when it's all said and done, I'm going to be remembered as one of the greatest college football players of all time with a national championship and multiple Heisman trophies under my belt.